Welcome back. WeAwake Sangha, or group or community, and welcome if this is the first time you've meditated with us. And the idea is that meditation is an almost essential practice to cultivate if we want to wake up. Okay, and we have found over the years, and not just us, but experiences of thousands of years and recent scientific investigation of this phenomena says that there's even more power when we meditate together. Okay, which explains why we have all, for thousands of years, all these different traditions have had monasteries and places where people come together to practice and pray, because there is an energy there. And we discovered that when we were meditating together back in the old days when we used to travel, right? And everybody got together for one of our annual meetings, the WeAwake team. And it was just such a powerful experience, and using these tracks and all on the same track and meditating together. So somebody suggested, instead of we doing WeAwake, then let's do a WeAwake. And that was, that's been the history of it. And some of you I know join with us every week, and really appreciate your presence and your support. God bless you, and thank you for that. So today we are going to do rejuvenation frequency. And this is part of a long, this is doesn't have any guided meditation, but it's a part of a longer track created, both the music and the guided meditation, by Joseph Kao. So we decided to do the one without the voice guidance this time, but he's fantastic. And the music also that he creates is really, really powerful. And for those of you who are interested, I believe it's beta, alpha, theta, and gamma. So there's a lot of different things going on. Just like when you play music, you can play different chords, all together. And so that's what's happening. It's really cool. And profound releasing, a renewal, and releasing. And I was thinking about that, my own path, and my own journey that I discovered when using this technology, that I would run into blocks and run into things in my body, kinesthetic feelings that were associated with perhaps traumatic events from my past, or sometimes I didn't even quite know what they were, but it was a feeling. It was a painful, something anxious, something foreboding, if you will. And I learned to my own, just to say, thank you, teacher, and just to sit with it and let it do whatever it does, and let it release. And sometimes and it's released when the tension's gone, the feeling's gone. It's no longer in your gut or your solar plexus or wherever it might be, or your throat, and it just releases, and you're left with a sense of connectedness and peace and stillness. And then sometimes in that stillness, not always, but sometimes there would arise a deeper understanding of what it was about, and wisdom and compassion on the other side of going through the physical recording, if you will, of trauma. And later on, I found through the work of Peter Levine and others that if we are dealing with trauma, that is a very corporal experience. It's not just in our heads, but it's in our body. And if we could just do talk therapy, for example, but we don't get to the bodily stuff, it won't get us all the way there. And for true healing and release, we have to include the body. And this technology, unlike often a traditional meditation, really includes the body. So it's more bang for your buck, if you will. So with that, this is a half-hour track, and I really am going to enjoy this. I'm really looking forward to meditating a little bit longer. So I hope you are too. And let me get my earbuds, and shall we go rocking? Great. See you on the other side. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for that. It was beautiful. It seemed like about 10 minutes to me, and I'm taking your word for it. It was a half hour because I didn't look at my clock or my watch. But yeah, that's what meditation does sometimes. It shows you that time is really relative, that 5 minutes can seem like 3 hours, and a half hour can seem like 2 minutes. So I guess Einstein had a point, right? So that's experientially what it is. So what do I want to say? One thing I don't talk about too much is I'm kind of a God guy, okay? After many years of struggling with this whole thing and searching for truth and searching for God. And I use the word God, it's just because, okay, I just come to that. And I know there's a lot of people who have suffered and had trauma around God speaking organizations or whatnot, but you can't blame God for that. There was a joke I saw, a little cartoon I saw one time, and there was this little hippie sitting out on the sidewalk on the curb, looking really sad in front of a church. And Jesus comes and sits next to him and says, "Don't feel bad, kid. They wouldn't let me in either." So anyway, so not all things that claim to be God are godlike. But yeah, that's kind of what I've come to. And why? Well, one time I was at a Native American church teepee ceremony, a peyote ceremony, which is quite an endurance, folks. It is not recreational drug use, I can tell you that. Stuff is horrible tasting, and it goes on and on. I mean, just all through the night. And I noticed during the, but like other endurances like Vision Quest, daily meditation, all these things, that it really is, it's amazing. And I noticed there was a lot of Christian songs being sung, because they go around the circle and people pray and they sing, they hand on the staff or the rod, and it's quite an experience. And I noticed there was a lot of many Native Americans sing Christian things. And afterwards, the morning after, you have breakfast and you kind of sit around and just kind of hang out as a community after having gone through this incredible experience. And I said, well, this is Native American and Indian thing. What's the Jesus stuff about? And I said, well, he showed up. So there you go. He showed up. So, which I thought was a perfect answer. And yeah, that's what seems to happen for me. God shows up. And my path to God was a lot of things. I got in a cult when I was young, so that really showed me what it's not supposed to be like. So I really learned the negative stuff, and I learned some of the good stuff there. It was very difficult for a while to sort it all out, what was real and what was bullshit. Yeah, my experience of God, which started before the cult, seemed to be the realest thing, the deepest thing I've experienced. And does that take away from meditation? Not at all. In fact, the Bible is full of the Psalms and the Proverbs talking about meditation. And for me, at this stage in my life, meditation is the preparation for prayer. And in prayer, I'm talking, well, there's Ken Wilber talked about the three aspects or faces of God, and the first person, second person, and third person. And third person being talking about God as a theologian would, like, God is really a happening dude, okay, or dudette, as it were. And so that's third person. Second person is when we're saying, hey, God, John here, and I'm hurting, show me how I'm supposed to walk. Show me how I'm supposed to live my life. Show me what I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to give back to my people. And that's second person, which is really legitimate too. And a lot of us who were hurt by religion, like the Christian religion, thought that we lost that ability to speak with God as other. And it's wonderful. Then there's the first person of God, which is just like in the stillness, in the emptiness, after the storm, after the pain, after the fire, after the darkness, there is only God, and thou art that. And so is everything else. The moment of just unity and connection. And I heard a guy say the other day, and a podcast that I'm doing now hasn't been released yet. It's called Deep Transformation. And he said, when you learn through great effort to become effortless, you get it. And I think this came out of the Chinese wisdom. I can't remember what the source was, but that's kind of it. When you learn through great effort to become effortless, then you get it. And so meditation can be a real struggle, just trying to still the mind. Oh my God. And the more you try to, still the mind, often you just end up thinking about stilling your mind. And you're off to the races thinking more. But it seems to be more of the way we stop thinking or clear the mind is more of a settling process. In other words, if you have water that has silt in it or something, you put the water up on the windowsill, and after a while, all the silt and the grains will settle to the bottom, and the sun will come through, shining clearly through the translucent light. And that's I think what meditation is like. And of course, at first, it's like, you're there, then the mind goes off here, and you bring it back. Mind goes off, bring it back, bring it back until it just. Oh, thank you. It took a while to achieve, but that's not. The other is still not failure. If you just sit and you have a hard time with your thoughts in your mind, that's practice. And the struggle is what makes us stronger and changes the brain. It is the practice itself. And so what I have found that I can do that now is still my mind. And I think this technology has really helped, saved me years. I can do it. You still have to work at it. Is you can get to this place of emptiness and stillness where we can perceive God. Okay. Man, it's a still beautiful, holy place. And again, it's through the thoughts, it's through the pain, it's through the fire, it's through the smoke, it's through the darkness. And that's where we find it. And in that place, it's very holy, sacred. You don't feel like saying a whole bunch. At least I don't. Thank God, right? I've probably had enough of my chatter. But it's like, hi, God, I'm here. I'll shut up now. And at that point, you can get deep wisdom. You can get teachings. And get the voice can be very clear, and it's not a physical voice, but it's clear as that. And you can learn things, and or you can just be there in the emptiness that is not empty. I guess that's how I would say it. From there, we can find healing and balm and hope for our mortal struggles, right? Being human beings. And and I think that's just an essential thing to cultivate. And that's kind of where I am in my practice. And I don't talk about that a whole lot, but I thought I might mention it now. And again, the track that we listened to was, what was it? Rejuvenation Frequency from Profound Renewal by Joseph Cale. God, thank you, Louis. What a great choice. I haven't listened to that in a while. It was really, really beautiful for me. And I know I was feeling you guys there at the same time. So anyway, let's cultivate that stillness in the center of our beings. So there we can find the great mystery, and you can call it what you will. Or maybe it will give you a good name to use or something, But well, I forget what tradition, but God has 10,000 names, at least 10,000. And a rose by any other name, as the bard told us, is still, yeah, it's still the same thing. It's still a rose. So, yeah, so cultivate, in your hearts, because we need it. It's an essential thing. We need God. We are created with a vacuum, a hole in our hearts that is in the shape of God. It can only be filled by that. So it's a good prayer. Fill my heart. Sometimes I'll just, God, I just need you. I need to sense your presence, because I'm really hurting right now, and I don't feel wise. I don't feel smart. I don't feel capable. I just feel really needy. Sorry about that, but here I am. So if you could show up in a way that I can perceive you. God's always present, but we need to have the grace to actually experience that. And as Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount, one in Matthew, there's two, there's another one in Luke, but he said, seek and you shall find, right? Knock and it shall be opened unto you. Ask and it shall be given. So that was, I believe he was trying to say that if we search for it, if we look for it sincerely, that prayer will be heard, and it will be answered, and it will be open, and it will be revealed. And it's really good. It's a good thing. So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for your presence here, and thank you for the meditation. It felt really good. Thank you, Joseph Kale. Thank you, WeAwake team, for being here for this. So God willing, next time, okay?